Hello everyone, in this video we will create a React application and connect this React application to a smart contract, and we will have an array inside the smart contract and we will display the elements of this array inside on the React front end. And so this is going to be a good exercise. We will see everything together. How to connect React with how to connect React with smart contract, how to access the array, how to list the array elements with map function. It's going to be a nice exercise. So the first thing to do is, of course, to create a folder. Here I have created this folder, and once you create a folder, just make sure you install all the dependencies. And I have created this step-by-step guide. So I have done until now the first two steps. I have created a new React application, and then I have installed Hardhat dependencies, and that's it. So once you have done that, open your project folder in VS Code Editor or any other code editor that you have, and the first thing to do is to make a cleanup. So we will just grab this unnecessary file, so app.css, test, logo, report, setup test, delete all of them. And then we will update the files here. So app.js, grab everything between the div tags and delete them, and also the first two lines, delete them and save it. And maybe you can just type here something just to see if everything works. So type something here and close this. So it's finished. Now go to index.css, grab everything here, delete, also delete body. And I have inside this step-by-step guide, I have created a very simple CSS file. Some CSS settings. So it's very simple. Once you see, you will realize it's just a background color, some font size, padding, and that's it. Nothing else. So we are finished with the index.css. We are finished with app.js, and go to index.js. Grab the last 4 lines, delete it. And grab this report web vitals, delete it, index, so the rest can stay. We are finished with the source file. Now we can go to public file, grab everything except index.html and delete them. And then go inside index.html file, grab all those link tags, delete them. Again, these blue commenting lines, delete them. This node script, we don't need it, delete it. This link tag here, delete it. And that's it. Save it, close it. We are finished with React cleanup, but maybe we can check if it works. So we will say npm start. This will take some time, and in the meantime, maybe, where is it? It's here. Well, in the meantime, we can't do anything else actually. We just need to wait for it. It will take like maybe 10 seconds. And then we will start Hardhat project. But we will also, after initiating our Hardhat project, we will also make a small cleanup. For the Hardhat files. And then we will update some important Hardhat files, and we will deploy our smart contract Polygon test network Mumbai. So it works. Yeah, this was the string that we entered. Everything looks fine. It's just fine. Now maybe this command line can stay like this. I will just downsize this. I will go back to my folder and click on the file path, type cmd if you are using Windows, and then here mpx hardhat, because I haven't initiated Hardhat project. So, but I have installed all the dependencies. You remember I told you that I have done these 2 steps. And here say yes, yes, yes. README file. Okay, delete the README file here. It's here. This README file is produced by React. We don't need it actually. Delete. And now go back to your command line. Again, say npx hardhat. Just wait for a few seconds. say yes, yes. It's done. Now we can downsize this and close this. So as you can see, we have all those files here. So I told you that we will delete this log file. This log is a boilerplate contract, we don't need it. We will delete it. It's taking a bit time, as you can see, but if you have the same slowliness, just click on cancel and it will delete by itself. And then go to test folder, again do the same for log.js. We don't need it because again you will need to click on cancel here and then it will be deleted. And once we have done this too, now what we can do, now we can create our contract. So the contract will be a very simple contract, because the purpose of this exercise is not to create a complicated contract, but to show you some connection steps. And here I have created this very simple, it's really very simple smart contract. It's just an array and we are returning that array with a view function, and that's it, nothing else. As you can see, this is our array, it's public, but we can make this internal as well. And here my hometown, Mardin, Stockholm is a nice city, Jakarta is a big city, and we have this view function, as you can see. And yeah, maybe I can add another nice city. I will say Braga. It's a nice city in north of Portugal. And we can close this. Now our contract is finished. And I advise you to do the same, just do the same, exact same, so that you will have the same result. I mean, even the namings here, like this naming, the contract name, I mean variable name, function name, try to make everything the same as it appears here, as it is here. So once you have done this, now we can go to scripts folder, click on deploy.js, grab these first 4 lines, delete it, and then instead of log was referring to the contract that we have deleted, so instead of log we will say cities, and here say cities, and here grab everything between these two parentheses, and delete it, because deploy and parentheses means whatever you're passing inside the parentheses, it will be an argument for the constructor. And actually we don't have a constructor, we neither have a constructor nor have constructor arguments, so that's why this place will stay empty. And then instead of this log, again just say cities and just follow the same logic. This time it's not going to be capital cities but a small letter cities. Okay, same logic, but we don't need all this long string. And actually we can just make it 1 line, and that's it. Yeah, now we are finished with deploy.js. Close this. Contract is finished, script is finished. We can now go to Hardhat config.js. So the thing is, we will grab everything here. You can grab everything. Actually, you don't need to delete this line because we will use it in our example also, but you better to grab everything from this step-by-step guide. Just grab it and paste it here. Okay, so here we are actually using Dotenv package to access provider URL, and private key provider URL is the node service provider, I mean a node service link from third parties. In this case we will get this from Alchemy. And private key is referring to the private key of our MetaMask account. We will also we will get this key information later. For now, just do the same. And here we are naming our network as Mumbai. We are using 0.8.1. Be very careful here because this Solidity version should be compatible with your contract's Solidity version. So 0.8.1. I am saying here bigger or equal and in this case equality is gonna make it compatible with Hardhat config.js, so it means it's fine. We can now close this, and I guess everything is finished here. Now we can just create our .env file, and here say provider URL is equal to template literals. It's not code, okay, it's template literals. Private key is equal to codes. And now let's get these two information. For the first provider URL, go to Alchemy, create an account if you don't have, then go to your dashboard and click on create app, and here just name it anything, and then click on Polygon, and instead of Polygon mainnet, Polygon Mumbai, then create app. Once you have done that, you will have a application like this, and just view the key, copy HTTPS, and we are finished with it, and paste it here. It's done. Now let's get our private key. For private key, click on your MetaMask icon here. Wait for a few seconds. And as you can see, we are on the Mumbai testnet because we will deploy this contract to Mumbai testnet, and you should also have this Mumbai testnet on your MetaMask. If you don't have, you can add it by clicking on this add network button, and then it will ask you some settings. You can find it on the internet, and once you have done that, you will need to also have some test matics. Here I have almost one matic, but this is a test matic, it's not a real matic. So in your case, if you have zero matic, you can just go to Mumbai faucet, for example this website. There is also another website, and you will enter your wallet address. I assume you know how to do that, but I will show you in any case. So just copy your wallet address here, copy the clipboard, and then paste it here and send me matic, and it will send you to Mumbai matic. Okay, so what else I was going to say? Yeah, once you have done that, you will have one or two matic. They are not real matics, they are test matics. And then click on these three dots, account details, export private key, enter your MetaMask password. You will have your private key here. In my case, this is my test account. This is one of my test accounts, and you should also do the same. Okay, do not create applications with your real MetaMask account, I mean in which you are having some real Ethereum or real currencies. Okay, just create some test accounts. You can create test accounts by clicking on this create account, and yeah, and then paste it here. This is the private key, and we are finished with .env, and now we can go to deploy our contract. So let's clear up the console, and here npx hardhat compile. Wait for a few seconds. And you see it says successfully compiled, and now we can deploy our contract. So npx hardhat run dot scripts deploy js -- network Mumbai. So we are saying Mumbai. Why we are saying Mumbai? Because we are deploying our contract to this network, which we named Mumbai. If it was like ASDF, so we should have we will say ASDF here. Okay. Oops, I just mixed everything. Just a moment. So yeah, and now we can deploy our contract. So -- network Mumbai, press enter. Hopefully this should deploy our contract Polygon testnet Mumbai in 10 seconds, let's say. And once we have our contract address, we will grab it and save it in a file. Yes, contract deployed to this address. Great. Just copy it, and now go back to your VS Code editor, and here inside the source folder, now we can start our React part. the first thing to do is to create a file named contract address.js. And inside this contract address, we will create a variable and export it. So we will say export const contract address. You do the same, please, and put your contract address here, and that's it. You can now close this file, export const contract address, open some codes, paste contract address, and that's it. And then we will also create another file. This time we will copy contract ABI.js, and where we can get the ABI, you can get it from artifacts, contract, cities. As you can see, it's here. So I'm just copying everything between these two square brackets, including square brackets, copy it, and then go to contract ABI.js, and again the same logic. Create a variable, export, and export it. Export const ABI is equal to, and that's it. As our contract is very short, the ABI is also very short, but normally the ABI can be like hundreds of lines of code. So it's finished, I guess. Yeah, get array function. Yeah, it's finished. We are finished with here also. And now we can go to app.js, and here what we can do here is that we can create two buttons. The first button will connect React to MetaMask, so we can say on click connect MetaMask, and also here let's say connect MetaMask, and then maybe we can display MetaMask account information inside our paragraph. So we will create a variable called account. I mean, right now actually the first I should create the variables, and then I should be like entering them here, but don't worry, I will be creating them right now, and you can just follow me. Yeah, so now obviously the first thing is that we will import use state, and also we will import ethers so that we can connect our React frontend to smart contract. And here pay attention, I mean sometimes the VS Code editor is automatically putting Hardhat here. I mean, do not, if you see import ethers from Hardhat, you need to correct it and make it import ethers from ethers, okay? And once you have done that, what else I need to, let me see, I don't want to miss any else. React, import React from React. I have used these two. Maybe this one also. Import React from React. Yeah. So now let's create MetaMask connection. So let's create a heading, say connect to MetaMask, and let account set account is equal to use state and empty quotes, and then just let's say const connect MetaMask. We will make a function declaration connect MetaMask. I guess it's the same name, isn't it? Yeah, and we can make it equal to FAA. I'm using a package so that I can easily create those arrow functions. You can also find it on the internet and download it. I think here you can find those packages. So async, and here we will create an if statement, but before that I also need to create an Ethereum object or variable. Let's say const Ethereum is equal to window, because we will need this so that we can connect our React frontend to MetaMask. And what else I need to, yeah, now I can create the if statement. So if window.ethereum is not equal to undefined, if it's not equal to undefined, it means that we have Ethereum in our browser, Ethereum object, let's say, which means that we have MetaMask in our browser, on our browser. So if we have it, then we can access all the accounts, which will be an array. So this will be an array because it will return us the accounts available in our MetaMask. Let's see. So const accounts is equal to Ethereum, not new, wait Ethereum request, and open some curly braces, method, open some quotes, Ethereum underscore request accounts. So this is like, I mean, this is how you do it, you know. I'm not like discovering something new. You can find this code block on the internet and you just do the same. And const accounts is await Ethereum request method accounts, okay. And then I just need to say set account 0 because I don't want all the accounts, I just want the first account, which is like the first available account. But we are not gonna wrap it with square brackets, we are gonna wrap it with parentheses. So set account parentheses accounts 0, and it's done. And if there is no MetaMask, it means that we need to install it. So we can alert the person, we can say install MetaMask first. So now let's try this. Yeah. Did it work? Probably we entered something wrong here. Await Ethereum request. Let me check. It should be here. Await Ethereum request. So it's the same, I guess. Request accounts. Let me just grab this information here. Await Ethereum request method Ethereum request accounts. So it's totally the same, isn't it? Accounts, everything is the same, but for some reason set account, use state, yeah, use state, count. Okay, this should return me actually the MetaMask data, let's see. Yeah, now it works. So connection to MetaMask, it's done. Now we can connect to contract. So let's create another chapter here. Let's say connect to contract, and here to connect to contract, let's first create some variables. Let's say let contract, let signer, and const ABI. Well, actually now I need to import those variables that I have created inside these two files. Okay, so import, the first one was ABI from contract ABI, and the second one was again an object, but capital letter, it was contract address, I guess. I will check it if I have named it like that. Again the same thing, contract address. So let's check if the name, yeah, the name is contract address. Okay, so contract address was right. Okay, import contract address from contract address, it's done. So const ABI is equal to, or let's say, just to make the name different from this one, contract ABI is equal to ABI. So this ABI, it refers to this ABI, okay? And this, we are just renaming it. I mean, like we are creating a new variable, and you can imagine it as like a new name. And then just do the same for the contract address. So let's say address, contract address. I mean, you might be thinking why I am doing like that. Why instead I do not directly use those names here. I mean, without saving them in another variable. Because if I use them directly, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. So to be on the safe side, it's a good idea first to save them in a variable and then to use them in our functions. So now const connect contract is equal to, and again let's create an arrow function, but it should be asynchronous also. And now we will say const address is equal to address, and const ABI is equal to contract ABI, and const provider is equal to new ethers, not two W's, new ethers providers web3 provider window.ethereum, and then we will say signer is equal to provider get signer, and then contract is equal to again new but not 2W ethers, and the capital contract and address ABI and signer. So I guess it should be right, but I will check it in any case. The first argument should be address. I'm just not sure about that. Let me check. So yeah, the first argument is the ABI here. So once we have done that, this should be fine. And yeah. And now actually we can create another button. In this button we will say on click, because I told you that we will access the variable, we will access the array and display the elements of the array on our React frontend. So let's create another function and name it as display array. So this should be fine. And yeah, for now we are not going to do anything with it. We will just leave it here, okay? And now let's say display array. Somehow I cannot make it big. Yeah. Display array. But before display array, maybe I can separate function logic. I can get array, okay? So to get array is very simple actually. We just create again a function. Let's name it as get array is equal to FAA, and it should be asynchronous. And here we will say const tx. Why I'm saying, I mean, this is a random variable that I'm creating to store some values. Why I'm saying tx responsive? Because I think this is a convention. That's why I'm saying tx response. So you can also do the same. You can also name your variable like that. And tx response await contract get array. But actually this is not a good idea to name it get array, because get array is a method of where is it? Is a method of CD's contract get array. So better to change the name. What to say? Let's say access array. okay, so that we can make the names different from each other. So const tx response is await contract get array. So now this variable, it has the array returned by this function, but the thing is we cannot use this outside of this function. So to overcome this problem, let's create another array here. So let's say let list items, let list items is equal to an empty array. I mean, we can do it like that. And const tx response await contract get array, and now we can say list items is equal to tx response. So I think this should be fine, and maybe we can console log list items just to see if everything works. And here, let's just for testing, maybe I can create const display array. Oops, not like that. FAA asynchronous access array. Maybe we can say await. And that's it. Now let's check const access array, but of course I cannot access array right now because I first need to connect contract. Let's now put it also here. So it means that when I click on this function, it will revoke access array function, and this access array function will revoke connect contract, and then once I connect the contract, then it will move on to execute these lines of code, and it will return me this list items, and we will display the list items in the console, and we will understand that our structure is working. So now let's save it. Let's refresh the page. We have two buttons here. The first button is this, the second button is display array. I clicked on it, so now let's inspect. Hopefully we should see an array here. Yeah, there is array. So it has returned the array. It's fine. Now we can close this. I told you that we will use a map function for our exercise. So now let's go here. Let's make sure we didn't forget anything. We will create a content. Okay. So now let's go here. And yeah, so button, let's create a list element here. Name it as content. Why I am creating this? Because we are accessing the list of these 4 cities, but I would like to list them here, you know, like under, they should like go under each other. It should look nicer. So let's create a variable, and then let's say let's use the use state, let content set content, and that's it. And now we should actually access these list items, because once we revoke this access array, this list items will be populated with the elements from tx response. So list items, and we can display those list elements with map function. And map function, you need to use it with a just if I could just make it. I don't understand what's the problem. Oh yeah, now it's fine. So we need to use a fallback function, let's say, and the first argument here, it will be the value that is returned. So we can name it as anything. So let's name it as city, and the second argument is an ID. So those IDs, it should be different from each other. So if you don't have an object, if for example in our case we have an array, and inside this array there is our elements and nothing else, but normally in other examples you have an object and you have an ID for each object. So in this case we don't have it, and instead we can use the index. We can use the index of the array for that purpose. I will explain this more, but for now let's just move on. So now what we can do, we can create span tags. This will be the first span, and here let's say ID is equal to index. Why I am saying ID is equal to index? Just to make sure that each time the map prints something, it will understand that each element will be different than the previous element. And then here, but I guess this, I shouldn't make it like that. I should make it, just a moment, I should make it like this. Yeah, now it should be fine. And secondly, I should again create another span, and this time I will be displaying the value from the map. So let's say city, and I believe that's it. Of course that's not it. I still need to use the set content. Yeah, so in some examples, but let me first explain a bit more on map. In some examples you will see that people are not using index, they just use city here, and then they use city for the ID also, and they use city for the value also. It's okay. I mean, it's okay to do that. Imagine, but if you have, let me show you, but if you have an array like that, let's say A and then B and then C and then A again. If you have an array like that, and if you are not going to use index, but instead if you will just use city, then it will create an error in your map, because this value here and this value here, they are the same. So it may create a conflict, it may create an error in your application. So you better to use an index every time. If you don't have an index, which is normal, I mean if you don't have an ID, then you can use the index. Okay? Because when you use index, in any case, index numbers, they will be different for each element. For this element, it's 0, and for B, it is 1, for C, it is 2, and for A, it is 3. So in this way, this map will not confuse this A and this A, because this A is with ID number 3 and this A is with ID number 0. Okay, so yeah. So let's save it and let's use set content and grab everything here. Grab it. I know it's not gonna look nice, but that's how it is. And I guess this should be fine now. Yeah, let's save it. Let's go to our, let's now connect to MetaMask. Damn it, it doesn't work for some reason. Just a moment. So it displays the elements, but you know, I guess the problem is here I have created list. I shouldn't create list, actually I should create pool. I guess that's the problem, because list is the list tag, pool is the wrapper tag for the list element. And here, instead of span, maybe I can just say li, and it will be fine. So now let's connect to MetaMask. Again, it doesn't display for some reason. But why? I have said ul, and here I have said li. So should I say something for here as well? Let me check it here. Actually, I don't need to say. Actually, it's a complication from those HTML tags. So I will make it span again. Span, and unorganized list, span index, span city, span city, key is this. Oh, sorry, I should name it as key. Sorry, not ID. I really apologize for this. Okay, now it should work. And here you can name it span or li. That's not gonna make any difference. It will print your list. So now let's, where is it? It's here. Let's refresh it. Paste it. Again, it didn't display. Did I save it? Yeah. So maybe I should make it li. One more time I will attempt. It displays the list here, but for some reason I cannot access it. I don't understand. So maybe I can just delete this index. And here, instead of index, I will say city. And hopefully this time it should work. City, content, unorganized list. Everything is fine actually. So one more time. Let's try. Let's go over here. Yeah, now let's connect the MetaMask. Display the list. One more time. There is an error. List items map. Just a moment. I'll grab everything here. Paste it here. List cities. I say list items. Map. Okay. The other element is the same. So let's save it. Yeah. Now it's like that. It displayed the element. For some reason that I don't understand, I was making some mistakes here. But whatever, okay? Whatever. Span, list items, unorganized list. So instead of span, if I say li, this should display the elements like line by line. Yeah, now it looks fine. Arden, Stockholm, Jakarta, and Braga. So I hope this was useful. And yeah, we better to do it. Probably there was a complication of those HTML tags with each other. Maybe I was using span tags wrong. So you better to use it like that. Just name these tags as ul, and this tag as li, and the other tag as span. And here you can use it. You can use just the value, or you can use the value with an index. You know, I just wonder. I think if you use the index, it will still work. Let me just try it with the index now. Let's save it. Let's go back to our web page. Connect the MetaMask. yeah, it works, you see. So yeah, probably it was a complication of those HTML tags, because some HTML tags, they cannot be a child of another HTML tag. So probably I was making a mistake. Maybe the problem was that I was creating two span tags. I was trying to make the child of one span. I was making these span tags the child of each other. So maybe that was a complication, but yeah, it's not a big issue. You just name it as UL here, unorganized list, and then list, and then span. Okay. So I hope this was useful, and hope to see you next time. Bye bye.